But then when we actually ended up doing it, I ended up going to LA Koreatown business community for support, and that's ultimately where we found it. You know, so, but actually I wanted to mention, because of Josie's involvement too, is that interestingly enough, we're finding that about 35% of our fan base is actually Latino.
Wow, that's very interesting.
In South America too.
South America, Mexico, all over Southeast Asia. And I think that people are just, you know, really wanting to see something different. And I think if something, you know, traditional thinking tells you that, oh, comedy is very difficult to translate, or, you know, something like that, or, you know, because it's Korean, Korean American, it might not translate. But we're seeing a very different picture, you know, so we're hoping that more people will get involved and can see this movie, because we're seeing that our audience is a lot more broad than what Hollywood would have you think.
When you make the movie, how did you balance the cultural difference?
I think people, you know, they're humans first. You know, it's about actually a person's character. Like, so say Nancy or Josie, when they're playing their characters, it's about them just being the person. It's not them about being Korean or being Latino. I mean, we're both Korean, but we're totally different than each other. So it's about more of a character than anything else.
She's from Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee.
Ready
to do my line dancing.
When I first met her, I was like, "What is your accent?" She's like, "Hi, y'all." No. She doesn't talk like that all the time, but I heard it a little bit. I was like, "Where are you from?" And I'm totally from San Francisco, so yeah, very different.
Yeah, but we're both Korean. You know, so it's about being, you know, just about your personality first, character first.
I think in the movie you do a really great job of having perspective from Brian, who's, you know, Brian's character, Jason.
The main character.
Yeah, the main character being an American, growing up here, you know, and having American ideals and wanting to fall in love. Whereas his parents, who are very Korean, just wanted to hurry up and be, you know, secure, not die, you know, just have the typical things that most parents want. And that's just universal all across all cultures. You know, is caring about your children. So I think you have a good balance of both perspectives, American and the immigrant culture.
And also, were the crew mostly international?
Well, we shot in LA. It was a regular, you know, Hollywood type of crew. It was a union shoot. And then in Korea, I shot with the Korean production system with an all-Korean crew.
So what's the difference between shooting here and Korea?
Well, from a director's perspective, being a director in Asia is like being a king, whereas being a director in the United States is more kind of being like an elected official. You know, like they can kind of pull it from you at any time, you know. You know, whereas in Asia it's more about, yeah, it's a director's medium. You know, people will just kind of do what you want them to do without any, you know, this back.
So how long did you stay in Korea for your project?
A long time. It took the film took 1 year to shoot. We shot it over 3 different periods of production, and so I was in Korea shooting, preparing and shooting for about 9 months actually. I was there actually for about a whole year, because I finished the film over there, and then we did a lot of our post-production there as well. So we have some animation in the film and a lot of CG work, and so that was all done in Korea, and then also with Korean post-production laboratory, the film lab. The biggest difficulty has been, I would say, financing, but also because the project has taken a very long time to develop. You know, sometimes it's difficult to for people involved to understand everything that you're doing and the reasons why you're doing certain things. You know, because the project there's kind of nothing traditional in a lot of the ways that we're approaching the production in the first place, in terms of how we're involving people. And then how we're distributing the film is also quite a new strategy as well. Distribution strategy is not new in the sense that we are doing what a lot of independent producers do, is that we are putting the movie into the theater ourselves. Actually, like a movie like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it was rejected by every single studio that was out there. You know, and then they paid for their own distribution. They raised their own money, which is basically what we're doing. But we are also taking a very regional grassroots approach to getting the film out there. And I think people, and especially a lot of young people, are seeing the movie not just as an entertainment product, but also as a cause, as a reason. You know, like we're actually running a real campaign in a lot of ways, because this is about ultimately getting more diverse and fair representation in the media. You know, we're addressing the two markets that Hollywood ignores the most, which is Asians and Latinos primarily, you know, first. But we're finding that the movie attracts all different kinds of people.
That's great. So are we expecting this film in the theater?
Yes.
And when?
April 12th, 2013. April 12th, 2013. It will be in theaters at a theater near you. So we're going to be opening it in Hawaii, all of Southern California, and we're also working on New York and San Francisco right now. But we're also seeing interest from other parts of the country as well.
I want to ask something interesting, because I saw a documentary about making this wedding palace, and there's a traditional Korean blessing for the production before you shoot. So what was that?
Yeah, usually before any new venture in Korea, whether that be you know, you're opening a new office, or starting a new business, or starting a new film, they have a blessing ceremony, and it's called kosa. And basically, it's you know, it's for good luck. You know, you're.
So did you shoot your part in the Korean town?
Yes, in Koreatown.
So how do you like there?
Koreatown? Oh, what? It's fun. It's like the only place in LA that really stays open late. So I noticed there are a lot more than just Koreans that hang out there. I can't believe how many of my non-Korean friends, like my white friends, black friends, they know all about boba. And Korean barbecue and kimchi. I'm just like, wow, that's amazing how much they know about it. Koreatown is so fun.
So as an American-born Korean, so participating in this film, did you learn more stuff about the Korean culture and just Korean stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think my Korean got better too. Because there are just some scenes where realistically we knew that the adults, the older people would speak in Korean, so I had to learn more Korean. Or at least fake it. I speak a little bit, but you know, I had to learn more Korean, and of course I learned about the opening ceremony, and just now even going around to like Atlanta when we went there, just I had to be immersed in sort of the Korean culture of being respectful and bowing like every 20 seconds and doing this, you know, which I didn't really grow up with, you know, so it's just, you know, it's in a way culture shock for me too. Even growing up in a Korean home, I was still in America, and I you know, consider myself both Korean and American, but definitely being immersed has been interesting.
So were you speaking in Korean during the film?
Both. Yeah, there's some scenes where I speak Korean and other scenes where I just speak English.
Yeah, like language-wise, we just wanted to make it like natural to the situation. You know, so that
sometimes Korean, sometimes English.
Yes.
Yeah, so that say if the lead actress, you know, she's is also from Korea, but she also plays a Korean woman. So of course, if she's speaking with her parents, she'll be speaking Korean because that's what she would normally do. Whereas here in the States, say Brian T's character, if he's with his family, he'll be speaking in English, but then they might be speaking some Korean. But of course, if he's with his best friends hanging out, he's going to be speaking in English, right? So, you know, it's just kind of a reflection of how we live our lives.
What would you say it's like as the first time feature film director? How was the experience?
You know, this is an interesting question because before I went into production, I had an opportunity to meet a Korean director by the name of Kang Jae-gyu, who is one of Korea's most famous, directors. And we had a conversation, and he told me, he said, directing is the most loneliest job on the planet. And, I really didn't know what he meant because, people visually, they think of a director and there's all these people around and, how can you be lonely? There's all these people around. But, going through it, I understood what he meant. It is a very lonely job because you're really the only person there that knows what the heck is going on, how all these different parts work. And so, and you realize that, that not everybody is going to necessarily understand what you're trying to get across. So, for any aspiring directors out there, it's, you kind of got to be prepared to just be confident in your own, in your own vision.
So Nancy, after your first film project, are you looking forward to do more in the future?
Oh yeah, of course. I really love acting. This is it. My parents would always ask me, how long are you going to do this? 5 years, 10 years? And I'm like, forever. I don't care if I have to work odd jobs to pay the bills. I really, truly love acting. I love playing characters and just having opportunities to work with other talents and just telling a story. It's just, I think it was always meant to be for me, to be a storyteller. And I do it on stage all the time too, as a comedian.
Yeah, I had a great time. I would like to, chase it. Like I was telling Christine, I want to definitely continue it. So, a whole different new experience.